Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Guys, in this week's episode, we're going to talk about some major changes coming to how housing supply is approved in this province. We're also going to talk about what's happening with the real estate market, specifically what we can take from some of the stuff that's been happening over the last week. And lastly, we're going to talk about the most important thing you need to keep in mind if you are a home seller. Real quick before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Hassan. I'm a Vancouver real estate agent and I make educational real estate content to help you on your real estate journey. I also make content designed to help you make your move in and around Vancouver. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to speak to me one-on-one about your situation, you can book me in the Calendly link in the description box below. But regardless, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a future video. Alright, so some major happenings in the province right now when it comes to approving housing supply, and it originates in Kelowna, where they are actually testing artificial intelligence to approve building permits, at least when it comes to the single family home space to start and renovation projects. Essentially what they are doing, they received a grant at the city of Kelowna and they're working with Microsoft to create a chatbot type of service where people are going to be able to submit applications for renovations, single family homes, stuff that basically needs human intervention right now, a plan checker to make sure it's meeting all the zoning requirements. You know, sometimes that plan checker is away on vacation or someone else is covering for them for a while, and oftentimes these simple approvals can take weeks or months. Now, with the introduction of AI and this chatbot, you know, the expectation is that they're going to actually be able to approve, give an outright approval within minutes, and sometimes even within seconds or instantaneously. So this is extremely significant, as you might guess. A lot of people in the industry have been wondering how artificial intelligence is going to affect the real estate market, and artificial intelligence at this point, as I understand it, is very good at eliminating administrative type tasks. So for example, what this chatbot's going to be able to do is a lot of time homeowners or realtors or builders were calling into the cities to ask questions surrounding zoning, to ask questions surrounding official community plans, and trying to really understand, you know, how zoning works. If you are new to it and you don't know what's going on, it can be really tricky to decipher. So one of the main components of this chatbot is it's going to be able to answer these questions back and forth. It's going to eliminate people needing to call in and tie up resources. So ultimately what the city of Kelowna is going to be able to do is, what they're saying is they're not going to cut any jobs, but they're going to be able to reallocate their human resources and put them towards projects so they can speed up larger scale development. Now, if you're watching this and you're in Vancouver, like the rest of us, you're wondering how this may affect Vancouver. So Kelowna, at this point, it's thought that they are possibly the first city in North America trialing this sort of a software. They're going to be trialing it through the summer, may even roll out at the end of next year, at the end of this year or early next year. If that does happen, they've already come out and said this is not proprietary. We're going to open this up for other cities to utilize as well. So essentially, if you take this off the laps of the municipal governments, if you take the single family homes and some of the simple projects, the renovations in Vancouver, possibly the duplexes, the fourplexes, the sixplexes that may come, if you take that off of the table in terms of a workload, and you can reallocate people to focus on the higher density developments, because those are not going to be able to be satisfied by artificial intelligence. There's too many nuances, too many variances, too many trade-offs between developer and city. Cities may want some additional amenity contributions, and you know, the developer may offer more rental housing in order to get more square footage. So I think that sort of stuff may not fit within artificial intelligence itself. But if we're taking a process that takes weeks and months right now, we break it down into minutes and sometimes instantaneous. I think this is obviously going to be a good thing for housing supply. It's going to put more resources where we need them so we can approve the larger, the higher density projects quicker. So one of the things that I think is particular to you if you're a homeowner with this sort of a technology, as I mentioned earlier, if you have questions on the zoning of your property and what you're able to do, right now you can go online and you can check city maps, but if you've never seen it before, it's it would be Greek to you. It's very hard to decipher. And again, a lot of calls go from the homeowner to the city in terms of what they can possibly do with the property. So now with this chatbot, as we understand it, it's going to be a very easy format to understand the development potential of your property, and actually it ties in very nicely to what I believe is the most important thing to know now. If you are a seller in Vancouver or wherever you are in Metro Vancouver, we're obviously in a space where densification is the name of the game, and it's happening from the provincial government level, obviously happening at the municipal level. So now if you own a single family home, and you're thinking of selling your home, it's not enough to focus on the curb appeal and repaint the home and fix the flooring and do some of these upgrades or updates to your property. You have to know, and write this down, you have to know what the highest and best use is for your property. The highest and best use for your property is not what your home is today, a single family home, but what is the value of this property in the future. And the way we decipher this sort of stuff is we look at what's in the community plans, the neighborhood community plans, the official community plans. You may be sitting in a single family home site where, if paired with your neighbor, you can now put up 6 stories, 4 to 6 stories low rise. So that would be the highest and best use. I'm going to give you an example that just recently occurred. A large developer based in I'll say based in Burnaby because they're focusing a lot of their efforts in Burnaby, Celtic Development. They just purchased land right next to Holdham SkyTrain Station in Burnaby, North Burnaby. They're building in Metrotown. They're building a project called O2. They just purchased land off of Kingsway from Bosa, also in Burnaby. So they have a heavy focus in Burnaby, and they just purchased this land at Holdham SkyTrain Station for, we don't know the exact price, but we're told it's upwards of 88 million. And the property was assessed at 100 million. So this is a very large example. But this property was actually sold several years ago, but the realtor at that time did not notify the homeowner what the highest and best possible use was of that property. It's where Rev Bowling is, essentially. So the property owner did not know the true potential of that land. They ended up selling it for under $30 million. And again, today it's sold somewhere in that 88 to 100 million range, whatever it might have been. And think about that. The property owner left that much money on the table because they did not know what the highest and best use was of the property. Now, they did what they needed to do and talk to their trusted realtor to figure out what it was, but obviously they were misguided in the process. Again, this is a large scale example, but this is the sort of thing that you're going to be able to go into the site and you're going to be able to quickly see what the maximum potential is for your property. And only then can you truly understand what its market value is in the real estate market. All right, so let's hop into the real estate market right now and what's specifically happening. If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, I've been mentioning that multiple offers have been back for at least 6 weeks now. Probably even a little bit longer. No subject offers are back as well, subject only obviously to that rescission period. Now, I can give you examples of multiple offer scenarios, but I don't think it's really helpful for me to say the market's on fire, it's so hot, multiple offers are happening everywhere. That doesn't teach you or I anything, but there is a specific example I want to bring up because we can actually take a learning from it to understand what's happening in the market. Property in Langley, a detached home, significantly underpriced, asking $900,000. I believe it was a 4-bedroom home, required a ton of work, almost a pure gut job. A lot of renovation needed on it. Property was assessed just under 1.3. So yes, underpriced property hits the market. Now, the reason why I want to bring this one up is that property saw over 60 offers on it. Accepted one subject free. We don't know what the price is as of the making of this video, but the reason I want to bring this one up specifically is the multiple offers that I've been talking about on this channel over the last several weeks. They've all been consumer driven. And when I say consumer, I'm talking about whether it's the first time home buyer, whether it is the upsizer that is moving into a townhome from a condo, or they're moving into an entry-level detached home with a suite. The multiple offers we've seen in the market have been people that were waiting on the sidelines. They saw 2 consecutive rate pauses from the Bank of Canada, and they said, now's our time to shine. Now we're going to jump into the market. This Langley example was none of that. This was not a first-time buyer property. This was not a consumer property. These were investors. And what this tells us about the market, we've seen now 3 consecutive months of price growth across most product types in most areas. And so what this tells us, when investors are coming back into the market and they're engaging in multiple offers on a project property like this, the short-term sentiment, the confidence in short-term real estate price gains is extremely high right now. What I can tell you is 6, 7, 8 months ago, no one would be touching a flip like this because they'd be inputting their costs. They would create a pro forma. They would input their costs, and the sale price, they'd have to factor that it's actually going to be lower at the sale than what finished product was selling for at the time of the purchase because prices were trending downwards. But it just takes a few months of price trend upwards for investors to flock back into the market, take on a short-term project. Whoever is purchasing it, very likely purchasing, fixing, renovating, and putting it back on the market, meaning that they have confidence in real estate in the short term. If you follow my channel, you know I'm a long-term real estate investment guy, and that's really easy for me to be because if you look at charts of real estate in Vancouver, you'll see that prices nearly double every 10 years. So it's very easy for me to sit here and say buy real estate and wait, buy and hold, long-term game. But what I can tell you is the short-term sentiment, the short-term confidence in the market is as strong as it's been in over a year. So there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something today in this video. If you did, I would love it if you could hit the like button because what it does is it takes this video and it sends it out to more people so they can learn from it as well. If you enjoy these types of real estate videos, subscribe to this channel. I put one out at least weekly. And again, if you want to talk about your own real estate situation with me one-on-one, happy to chat with you. Just book me on the Calendly link below or send me a text. Give me a call, shoot me an email, whatever's easiest for you. But I want to thank you so much for watching again this week, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.